Yes, we would like for patients who are coming today to be treated tomorrow, but because of those limited facilities, then patients have to wait for 1 week or sometimes 2 weeks to get treated with the radiotherapy.
As this is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Ocean Road Cancer Institute continues to raise awareness to the community to do regular health checkups to avoid delay in treatment. According to Dr. Julius Mwaiselage, the institute has installed modern radiotherapy machines, which not only helps in treatment of Tanzanians, but also patients from Komoro, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Kenya, just to name a few. This is an exclusive of the first PET CT scan in Tanzania and the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa apart from South Africa. When doctors say they want to save lives, they really mean business here at Ocean Road Hospital. I'm Kanki Mwegomole for TBC News.
Thank you, Kanki, for that report. Deputy Minister for Works, Engineer Godfrey Kasekenya, says the government has started the renovation and expansion of the Sumbawanga Airport in the Rukwa region to accommodate even larger planes to land in the region. He was inspecting the progress of the construction, revealing that the project will cost more than 60 billion shillings and is scheduled to be completed within 18 months. Here's a report by Egidius Odax, read to you by Teddy Mparanyanga.
As a continuation of his visit to the Western Zone and the Southern Highlands, today he's in the Rukwa region and he starts with inspecting the progress, expansion and renovation of the Sumbawanga Airport.
Ni ujenzi wa barabara ya kurukia na kutoa ndege yenye urefu wa kilomita 1.75.
It is the construction of a road where planes will land and take off. It has the length of 7.1 kilometers and a width of 30 meters. But there will also be a construction of taxiways, aprons and waiting lounge that is expected to serve 150,000 passengers per year, as well as security systems. The project, which started on September 11, 2023, is still at its initial stages, expecting to be completed in March 2025.
And we intend to follow these documents to ensure that the contractor gives a good quality work for the Sumbawanga people and the country at large.
The Deputy Minister directs the contractors to adhere to the requirements of the contract.
Tunategemea ndani ya mkataba.
We expect the work to be completed as stated in the contract. We are sure that there won't be any challenge of cash flow. There will be enough money for the work to be done, so by May 2025, the airport should be completed and there should be no excuse. In general, this airport had taken a long time to be constructed, but today the final stages are about to be completed.
On the other hand, the Deputy Minister has inspected the Ntendo Kizungu project, which is a part of the Ntendo Muze, Kiliamatundu and Matai Kasesia Road project.
Mradi umefika kiwango cha 29%.
29% of this project has already been completed. Up to now, the contractor has cleared the field for the roads, which amount to 80%. He had also constructed the small part of the G3 that are the length of 80 kilometers, and G7, which are the length of 500 kilometers.
In making sure that Africa stays on and shines with its tourism industry, different forums are held within the continent to ensure stakeholders of the industry are well equipped in promoting and marketing Africa within and across the globe. Our reporter Margaret Getty is attending the African Tourism Leadership Forum, and here's her report.
The Africa Tourism Leadership Forum, held here in Botswana, aims at bringing together stakeholders from across Africa working in the tourism and hospitality industry. And the aim is to boost and enhance tourism in Africa and selling Africa as a single destination.
We decided to bring these leaders together and all other stakeholders through an inclusive approach to ensure that once a year, leadership of the industry, the ecosystem, and every single person across the industry meet at one place, dialogue, lobby, come up with some plans of action to resolve or alleviate some of the challenges that the continent faces when it comes to tourism.
Tourism Entrepreneurship Masterclass has been conducted and attended by delegates across Africa with businesses dealing with tourism and hospitality. The masterclass is aimed at improving tourism-related businesses in Africa.
If you look through, again, the presence of franchising in Africa, it's mainly in South Africa and Egypt. Why? The rest of Africa has not taken up franchising. Several reasons. One, literal to zero understanding of how the franchise model works. Second, there are very, very, very few franchise consultants like myself outside South Africa and Egypt who would be then able to educate the business community as to how the franchise model works. Number three, and actually I think this is the most important reason, is that people are simply used to copy and pasting what other people they think who they think are successful are doing. So people are simply not creative enough to go think outside the box and do what would otherwise make them more successful than they are today.
Also, women working in the tourism industry have taken this chance to networking in the forum that ensures broadening their spectrum in tourism and hospitality businesses.
It's very important for us women to be here to attend these classes or conference because one, you need to meet with different people who are doing the same business so that you know your clients, you know what they want, you know where they are, and then you know also whom to collaborate with.
The Africa Tourism Leadership Forum officially starts on the 4th and ends on the 6th of October 2023 here in Gaborone, Botswana, moving together with the aim of enhancing and sharpening tourism and hospitality industries here in Africa. Reporting from Gaborone, Botswana, Margaret Getty, TBC.
Now from Botswana, let's head over to Germany, whereby a fall of a 155 kilometers long Berlin Wall lays a strong foundation for the reunification of Germany that was divided for 28 years long, which makes every 3rd of October marked as an important historical date for the Germans and the world. Esther Deus reports from Berlin.
The Berlin Wall, constructed on 13th of August 1961, a symbol of the Cold War era, was the physical and ideological barrier that divided East and West Berlin. It stood as a stark reminder of a deep divide between the capitalist West and the communist East during the tense period of the Cold War.
And so Berlin similarly gets divided into 4 sectors. So if we zoom in, this is a map of Berlin, and we can see again there are 4 sectors that the country has been divided into. And within these we can see the different suburbs that make up each sector. We are currently standing right on the border between the French sector and the Soviet sector here. So this is Mitte right in the middle, and then Wedding here. So that's where we are on this map.
It had a profound impact on the lives of millions. Families were separated and communities were divided, and some lose their loved one in their attempt to escape across the wall. After its fall, it triggered a series of events that culminated the reunification of Germany in October 3, 1990. The wall that was once a symbol of division now stands as a testament of the power of human determinant and desire for unity.
Many other remains of the Berlin Great Wall that stood as a symbol of division among the Germans, but now it remains as among the most historical sites that attracts a number of tourists from all over the world, but also it reminds how human can go in pursuit of their freedom and unity. Esther Deus, TBC, Berlin.
And that is how we wind up our local news. Let's have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news as compiled by Gania Jumbe and read to you by Teddy Mparanyanga.
The United Nations Security Council approved the deployment of international forces led by Kenya to curb escalating gang violence in Haiti. The Caribbean country of more than 11 million people, which had requested international assistance for more than a year ago to curb the rising insecurity in the country, welcomed the decision. Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry also thanked the East African country for taking the lead in proposing to send troops to Haiti. The resolution authorizes a multinational security support mission to take all necessary measures to stem the violence. The international forces are not deploying under the United Nations Peace Mission. The World Food Programme, WFP, has warned that thousands of people fleeing the fighting in Sudan to Chad and South Sudan are going multiple days without food as child malnutrition soars. The UN agency says a hunger emergency is looming on the border between the countries and admits it is struggling to meet the growing humanitarian needs. It is estimated that 90% of people are going for days without eating, and already 1 in 5 children and a quarter of pregnant or breastfeeding mothers are malnourished. They are fleeing the war which broke out in Sudan in April. The WFP says it simply does not have the resources to provide life-saving assistance, and it needs more than $120 million to increase support to those who need it the most. And the police in the Indian capital, New Delhi, have raided the homes of several prominent journalists and authors in connection with an investigation into the funding of news website NewsClick. Police have seized mobile phones and laptops of those they have raided. Officials are reportedly investigating allegations that NewsClick got illegal funds from China, a charge it denies. Critics say the move is an intentional attack on press freedom. Started in 2009, NewsClick is an independent news and current affairs website which is known to be critical of the government. In 2021, it was raided by tax authorities on allegations of breaking India's foreign direct investment rules. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has denied any involvement of the government, saying that the investigative agencies were merely doing their job.
And that was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, the National Sports Council, BMT, has asked the Tanzania Professional Boxing Regulatory Commission, TPBRC, to provide detailed information on the boxer Hassan Mwakinyo and his promoter Saga. BMT media officer Najaha Bakari told TBC that the council has sent an order and must get detailed explanations within a week from TPBRC so that it can take action, while the chairman of the Tanzania Boxers Association, Japhet Kaseba, says conflicts between boxers and promoters are destroying the image of the sport.
Sheria ya baraza inaturuhusu kuchukua hatua yoyote. Kwa hiyo baada ya
happened between the boxer and the promoter. Within 1 week, they should have brought the information so that we can take action.
Wameshatuletea hayo maelezo. Kwa hiyo wafanye haraka iwezekanavyo ili tuweze kuchukua hatua. Tunachotaka ni michezo nchini iweze kwenda.
Watu wote wafuate sheria bila shuruti, lakini tufuate utaratibu ambao uko rasmi.
All people should obey the law, but also to follow the official procedures in order to avoid conflicts in sports. We should rectify the situation so that to protect the value of boxing in our country.
Last week, boxer Hassan Mwakinyo boycotted a fight, accusing the violation of some aspects of his contract with the promoter. In other sports news, the Minister for Culture, Arts and Sports, Dr. Damas Dumbaro, says Tanzania continues to transform the areas of culture, arts and sports to make them income-generating sectors and contribute to the national income. He made the remarks when he met and held talks with the Turkish ambassador to Tanzania, Mehmet Guluglu, insisting the sector has employed many young people. He asked that Swahili language, as part of the Tanzanian culture, continues to grow and also offer employment to many Tanzanians. On the other hand, Ambassador Dr. Mehmet says his country plans to establish a cultural center in the country to provide an opportunity for Turks to learn Swahili and Tanzanians to learn Turkish. And that's it for sports news. Now, before we wind up, let us take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello, and welcome again to the next 24 hours of the forecast, starting tonight at 9 p.m. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Ramadan Omar. Periods of strong wind are expected to persist over some areas of our country. NTMA has issued an advisory of strong wind reaching 40 kilometers per hour and large waves reaching 2 meters over Lake Victoria, Tanganyika, and the Lake Nyasa. So precautionary measures should be taken over those areas. While over the coastal area, wind speed is expected to reach 30 kilometers per hour. And tonight, cool temperatures are expected over a few areas, especially over southwestern Highland. And the rest minimum temperature is expected to be 10 degrees Celsius over Njombe region. Otherwise, few areas of Tanga, together with Iceland of Unguja and Pemba, were expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers. And tomorrow, few areas of Kagera and the Geita regions are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers and sun period. While over Tanga, Dar es Salaam, Pwani, together with Iceland of Unguja and Pemba, were expected to feature cloudy condition, rain showers and sun interval. Over Arusha, Kilimanjaro, Morogoro, Lindi and Mtwara regions, we are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas and sun period. And the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy condition and sun periods. And now, let's have a look on the next 4 days of forecast over some regions of our country. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.